Hi YouTube folks, thanks for coming back again. I say that a lot, I mean it a lot, so really, thank you. Get situated here and don't touch that camera, or don't touch that table. There we go. Dire Straits, why worry? Yeah. I drove, it was back when people used to drive places. I'm in the water. Voice is really bothering me, sorry. When people used to drive places, right? I one time, I forget where I was driving, probably see the Harp Twins somewhere, Cincinnati, Chicago, Stoughton, Wisconsin, someplace. And I listened to this song on repeat. It's just really pretty, and I like the vocals too. I like the lyrics, and but it's about 8.5 minutes long, so there's a lot of instrumentals like this. And when the vocals come in, we'll see if it's too loud. But anyway, I just kept, all right, let's just do it again. And like I said, it's about 8.5 minutes long, and I had about a 7-hour drive, and I just, oh, wait a minute, here's what I'm going to do. If you think I'd learn, I'm going to put this up there. So, okay, good. Now, I'm getting close. Okay, there, that's better. Now I can look into the camera, which is nicer, right? And keep an eye out of the corner of my eye at whether I'm more or less centered and I'm not where I want to be. Nope. I want to be further over here, but is that going to work? Yeah. A couple Easter eggs. And that's too loud. Yeah, now I apologize. The name of this video is going to be, no kidding, it's going to be Austria. Skiing in Austria. The thing is, I'm losing my mind, and I apologize for that. Wait, don't leave yet. I'll throw in one more thing, and then I'll tell you, well, don't leave yet anyway, if you don't mind. But, I mean, because, I put a real shirt on and shit, so come on. Stay a few minutes. I'm teasing. You got something better to do, probably. Almost certainly. So I'll throw in a couple extra things here, which is what makes these things longer, right? But then I want to get to the thing, and then I'll tell you why you might want to punch out. The two new things that don't have anything to do with the title of this, so I'll lose them too, that just came up. My car is in the shop again, I know. Engine repair, but I don't know that I mentioned this before, that when I went to find the phone number of the place to call them up and give them a what's all this then, as far as what's going on, what status, I found them on Facebook. I told this before, didn't I? My car was featured on their homepage of their Facebook for their company. So I called them up, and I said, hey, if I was down there, in a bikini and high heels, leaning up on your front door of your building, you'd have to pay me a modeling fee. Well, that's actually not true. If I was down there, they would pay me to leave. They'd pay me quite a bit. So actually, I should make a note of that. Yeah, I got a new money-making venture as soon as we can get outside again. Yeah. But anyway, if I was a hot girl in a bikini and in high heels, and just standing against their front door, they'd pay a modeling fee, right? So I said, you got my car plastered all over your homepage, that you're pretty excited that that's the next car you're going to work on. I said, I want a modeling fee for my car, or you can take that picture down, because I didn't give you permission. Now, probably since it's, in a public place, that they took the picture. Anyway, long story short, I said 15%, and they said no. I said, well, then take it down. And they said, how about 10%? I said, done. So, yes, I need a haircut. I was kidding weeks and weeks ago. I'm still kidding, but I got to figure out a way, if I have to step in front of my own lawnmower, that I got to get that done. So, anyway, yeah, so they end up giving me 10% off on the car for it, and so I was like, yeah, that's great. So yeah, that worked out well, and they still have the car. So that's one thing that I don't know if I told the full story before, that I got a 10% modeling fee discount for my car being on their homepage on Facebook. And the other thing was, just a couple days ago, I got Ray Connick Jr. has a intermediate keys class. It's like $100 for a year, and I guess I haven't done it yet, but I guess you get access to a bunch of videos, and you can go from there. And so anyway, I liked it because it was nice that he just has a good, I guess, bedside manner, you'd say, if he was a doctor. And I know he's not going to be doing the teaching. I know that he's just a spokesperson or owner of the company, or both. But anyway, it was Ray Connick Jr. talking in the advertisement, and he made a good sales pitch, because they got me for the $99 for the year. And again, I haven't accessed the stuff yet, but I've only paid for it a couple days ago. But he's sitting at this gigantic, gorgeous black grand piano. It costs tens of thousands of dollars probably, and very impressive looking. And he's saying, this can be intimidating, right? And I'm going, right, yeah, intimidating. And he says, look, and he goes through, and he says, there's only 12 notes, and he plays each one of them. He says, that's it. There's just 12. How hard can it be? And I mean, of course, the answer is, yeah, it can be plenty hard. But I like the way he's saying, there's only 12 notes here. So let's just start there. And he says, I can teach you. And he's talking about the beginner class, and there's an intermediate class and an advanced class, and I signed up for the middle one. But he was saying, you pick a song from our library, and then we have the software that will teach you, that will listen to you play, and it'll give you, I guess, a red or a green dot, whether you got that note right or wrong. And until you get 100%, it's not going to let you go to the next one, right? So it's just going to keep working you. And he says, in 1 week, we will teach you to play a song. You pick your favorite song or whatever from our list of stuff that we can do. And he says, in a week, I promise you that you'll be able to play that song. So I thought, and that was the pitch for the beginner class. So I thought, all right, well, I'm going to give this a try. So I'm sorry, my voice. I know I'm going to have to get that camera stuck down my throat. I know there's people watching, perhaps, that are the ones that said, yes, you are, and do it, you big baby, do it. I'm not a baby. I just don't. It's time consuming, and you're under anesthesia, and you got to get a driver. You do, and during a zombie apocalypse, I don't even know if it's I think it's elective. I don't think they'll go to a nose and throat guy, and I don't think he'll do it during this business. So there, they're not going to do it yet, whether I wanted them to or not. So okay, yeah. So that the keys class. Was there anything else to say about that? No, I mean, I think it'll be. I think I'm going to enjoy it. Because yeah, I figured. I think I was going to say something about I'm always honest. If I have no other redeeming qualities, I am honest, and I have a really good ear. So I can play a lot by ear, and I can read music a bit, and I get every good boy does fine, and face, FACE, and all that, and I get that. But I could learn about a million more things, so much. Oh man, so I can spend a lot of time with this class, I bet you. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Okay, so now here's the point where I want to. 9 minutes in, that's impossible. That clock's gonna be wrong. Austria skiing. I was going to talk about, and I guess it's going to take 25 minutes. I'm sorry, but I think I've talked about this before. I really do, but I've looked at a bunch of the other videos and I didn't label them properly. I labeled them fire extinguisher or whatever else they were, and I can't think that I snuck a bunch of Austrian ski stories into the fire extinguisher or a bar fight adjacent or the would-be robber or several of the others. So I tried some of the ones that seemed a little bit more vague, but I couldn't find it. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna do Austria skiing trip. There's 3 or 4 stories probably from that, and that's what this video is going to be about. Except I'm 10 minutes into it and I haven't done anything with it yet, but we're familiar with this. But anyway, I was going to say, if you have seen some of the video, and I got to talking about being in Austria in the Alps skiing, then you can punch out of this right now. Spare yourself, save yourself, run. Just head for the hills. I don't know what I'm going to say, but I'm going to go through the Austria thing. So yeah, when I was younger, I went on a ski trip to Austria, to the Alps, and we flew across the pond, landed in Heathrow, bounced from there to either Frankfurt or Munich, and then took a bus to the other city, whichever one wasn't the one we landed in, and then another bus across the border from Germany into Austria, and then up into the Alps. Yeah, that's how I got there. And anyway, it was cool because, and I know I'm repeating myself, but I can't find where I talked about this. So anyway, you'll have two chances to get this story. Anyway, it was cool because it's two vacations in one. Because I mean, I ski all the time in the United States, usually in the Colorado Rocky Mountains, and that's where we keep them, mostly in Colorado. I mean, there's Utah, sure, and Banff, Lake Louise up in Canada, very cool there also, but most of the time it's in Rockies. Steamboat Springs, Winter Park, A Basin, Vail, Aspen, every place. But you ski during the daytime, and then in the evening you just hang out and drink, or hit the hot tub and play cards or whatever, or drink. But it's just one vacation. You're just skiing, and all you're really doing that evening is resting up so you can ski the next day. I'm trying to fix this shirt. It looks weird. So, still looks weird. It's because it's backwards. I don't know which hand. Who cares? But here it was two vacations in one, because in the daytime you're skiing, and then in the evening you're in these quaint little towns in Austria. And we took a train into Vienna one time, and other times we just wandered around Badgestein and Sportgestein, were the two towns that we were somewhere in between, skiing. And so it was great to have two in one. And again, I'm repeating stories I know I've told, but what might have happened, and I do this occasionally, is I'll film one of these. Believe it or not, there's some that are actually worse than the ones you've seen. I'll film it, and then I'll look at it, and I'll just pitch it. I'll just say, no, this is just not even, no, I'll just make it stop, Keith. Just kill it with fire right now. So maybe what happened is the Austria skiing was in one of those, so it never saw the light of day. So anyway, there was a group of us, and Steve is the person I'm going to talk about for a minute here. He was not a strong skier. That's the best way to put it. Not a great skier. And but he's a friend of ours. He's a friend of ours. We play every other sport in the world together, and he's got motor skills, and we're all fine at playing baseball, softball, and basketball, and ice hockey, and every other sport in the world we play. And Steve would play with us, the ones that were over there. But skiing, not so much. No. And my friend Dave and I were the best skiers in the group. And like I said, I've skied a lot in the United States, and again, not going to lie to you, I'm a pretty good skier. So I'll just say, modesty may not be one of my traits, but honesty is, at least. Okay, I'm honest. I got to tell a story properly, and I'm going to be honest. So anyway, but it's kind of like the weakest link in the chain is how strong the chain is. We're all skiing at the same speed as the slowest person, Steve. So it took us half a day to get like halfway down the mountain. We haven't even been all the way. We took chairlifts and gondolas and whatnot up to the top, and then we started skiing down, and we only got about halfway down, and the day was half over, and we hadn't even been to the bottom once. And because Steve falls a lot, and I'd always ski last because I could pick up the pieces. When he fell, he'd have a hat this way and a glove that way and a pole this way, and a ski would come off and go over there. So I'd ski back and forth and pick up all the pieces and then bring them down to him to let him reassemble himself and get his hat back on, his goggles back on, and all that, because it was faster that way. For him to have to climb uphill to get that crap, it would take us even longer. So I always waited at the top, and I was the last person down. I'd pick up the pieces when Steve would fall. I didn't say if. Yeah, I said when, because he would fall every time. And so And I didn't give him any crap at all. I was not. No, I was completely, fine with that, and so was Dave. But I think Steve was getting a bit of a vibe. I don't know. I didn't mean to be giving off a vibe, but he was getting. I think he was just pissed, at himself because he was struggling. But anyway, all of a sudden he says to me or to Dave and I, he's like, "All right, well, if I wasn't, how fast or how long would it take you guys, just the two of you, to ski from the top to the bottom? It's taken us a half a day, like 6 hours, no, not 6 hours, 5 hours. It's taken us 5 hours to get halfway down the mountain. 5 hours." He's like, "How long would it take you guys if you were by yourselves to ski from top all the way to the bottom? Wise guys, how long would it take you? If I'm slowing you down so much, that's what he's asking. How long would it take you?" And Dave and I both looked at each other, and we were just as serious as a heart attack. We looked at each other, and we both thought about it. And at almost the same time, we said, about 8 minutes. And Steve had a fit. Oh, he was pissed. He was like, "You lying." And I'm like, "Hey, man, you asked. You asked the question. I'm giving you my best estimated answer. Now, I'm not swearing that's the answer, and I'm not going to bet $1,000. Maybe I will. Tell you what, call it 10 minutes. I'll bet you $1,000 I can ski from the top of this thing to the bottom in 10 minutes. Yes." And he was so pissed. He's like, "There's no way." And blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, "Look, you haven't skied a lot, so it's not your thing. But it's one of my things, and I can ski this thing." And now I'm getting mad, right? Because he's calling me out and calling me a liar. I was like, "I can ski this damn thing in 10 minutes, top to bottom. My legs will be burning. Yeah, my thighs will be burning, but I'll do it just to be stubborn, because I have been known to be stubborn." I'm looking at you. I know you look Aries. Yes. So he's pissed. And there was, the other story is Steve's story too. Steve kept an eye on his money. Let's say that. He was frugal, which is that's a positive trait. Not throwing any shade on him at all. I'm just saying that we're on vacation. We're in the Alps. In the Austrian Alps. We're not at a McDonald's in downtown Manhattan or something. We're at well, actually they're not very high. In Colorado, you're 13,000 feet or so above sea level. The Alps are not that high. It's just the vertical is good because the bottom is low. Whereas in Colorado, even the base is like 9,000 feet or something. So all you really care about is the delta, the difference between the top and the bottom. That's your vertical that you're skiing, and it's a pretty good vertical in the Alps. But the top it doesn't matter. It's remote, is my point. You're in the Alps. So the point is, we went to this mid-mountain restaurant, and we got something to eat, and we got burgers or something, and Steve's cheeseburger was, I don't know, $14 or something for a cheeseburger. And he was having a fit. "I can't believe it charges this much money." And I'm like, "Steve, look around you. There's nothing for miles and miles and miles in any direction but snow and trees. They had to helicopter the hamburger in here probably, or they had to drag it. They probably used a helicopter. I'm being a bit hyperbolic there with them because I just fucking with them, right? But they probably drug it up on a snowcat. But still, it's remote. They got to bring all the food, all the supplies, knives and forks and paper napkins and whatever. It doesn't grow from the ground up there in the Alps. It had to be brought up there. So yeah, it's going to cost $14 for a hamburger, and you're in the middle of the Austrian Alps. If you wanted to, I always said if you could ski, which you can't. I was going to say, if you wanted to, you could ski down to the bottom and down, go into town, sure, and get a cheeseburger for much, much cheaper. But then you'd spend all your time going after the food. The point here is we're right here at the mid-mountain restaurant. You just walk in there, get your I don't even know what word that's supposed to be. Get your hamburger, get your food. That's what I was doing. I was doing hamburger and food, and I blurred them together. You're flirred. Get your food, and then eat, and then boom, you're back on your skis again, and you're saving time. And lift tickets are expensive, so time is money. I just made that up. You can use it. I get a nickel royalty every time you say that. Time is money. So come on, tick tock, tick tock. We got to eat and get back onto the skiing thing because we paid for this lift ticket. you know, and then when the chairs stop, then, you know, that's the end of the lift ticket for the day, and let's get going, you know. And, so and he's bitching about the price of the burger in the middle of the Austrian Alps. Okay, we're right at 20 minutes. There's one more story. Okay, there was this toboggan thing, and it was the simplest, most crude. It was fun. I'm not throwing shade. It was fun, but I'm just saying the thing we were on was very crude. It was just this piece of wood with 2 rails on it, and you couldn't even really steer it. I think it was just solid wood thing that you sat on, and then it had a couple of rails like a sled, and then this little toboggan run, and the run was only, you know, a few feet wide. For the toboggan, and you like I said, you could barely, you'd stick your feet out in front of you and kind of use your heels of your boots to kind of steer yourself a little bit, and it was a lot of fun. And so we paid at the top, and we had no idea how much money conversion rates were. You know, we just told them what hotel we were staying in and just said, put it on the room. We want to do this more than once. We're gonna come back up and we're gonna do it again. So we did that a few times and had a blast. But one time, 2 guys skiing, on skis, like 190 centimeter, you know, full length skis, come flying down through us. There's like 6 of us probably on these wooden hunks, just hunks of wood, and they come flying down through there on their skis. It's not a ski run, is where I'm going to get at, and I'm going to make sure they understand this. They come flying down through there, and, you know, about kill us all, and then they stop in the toboggan run, turn their skis, you know, to stop on a downhill. You know, if this is the fall line, you got to turn perpendicular to stop. That's how skiing works. So they're turned perpendicular to the fall line so they can stand still and talk to each other for a minute. Well, that puts their skis completely stretched across the length of the toboggan run. And I was going to leave them alone. I was. But then, you know, gravity is gravity. We're coming down, and we came down, and we ended up sliding right across the back, you know, the tail of their skis with our wooden toboggan things. And then those pricks have the nerve to give us some crap about skiing across the tails of their skis. They said a little bit of stuff. I forget what they said, but they said something. And no, this is not going to happen now. I got up and I said, do you guys speak English? And I think they were maybe thinking, okay, well, this is a foreigner, and so we'll say, yes, we do speak English if you would like us to communicate with you in the English language. You know, and that wasn't my point at all. No. I said, do you speak English? And they said, yeah. And I said, good. Show me where on a fucking trail map this run is. Show me it on a trail map. It isn't on one, because this is not a skiing trail, you dipshits. This is a toboggan run just for these little wooden things that we're on. You guys are assholes for even being on here. You come flying down through here, almost kill us all. Then you stop perpendicular to the run that we're on, the little you know, tube of the, like a what was it in the Olympics? There's the bobsled, and then there's the thing that's just bob. I forget what they call that thing. Anyway, there's no sled, it's just bob. The bobsled. Also, but the run, you know, that's what we're on. And they stop right there, and then they give us crap first. That's the first thing anybody says to anybody, is they say something to us about, you know, mad at us for sliding across the back of their skis with our wooden toboggan things. Again, it's gravity. We're going to come down the thing. We got to come down. They're completely in the wrong, and there's nothing I love more than making sure somebody that's in the wrong knows they're in the wrong. Yeah, and so I said, yeah, where is this fucking trail on your map? It's not on there, is it? We just about had a brawl right there in some Sportgestein, Austria, you know. I know I said there's 6, but half of them were girls, so it was just 3 guys, me and 2 other guys, and there were 2 of them, which means they were way outnumbered, because suit me fine if there were 5 of them and 1 of me. They're all going head first in the snow. I was pissed, you know. So anyway, okay, so that's that story and the story. I think that's all the stories, and I'm at 25 minutes, so that's maybe good. But all right, if you've got time, there's one more as I remember. There was a girl on the plane who was kind of a soror. No, see, if I say that, I'm going to be throwing shade on college young women that are in sororities, and I don't mean to do that. But I mean, she was just like this stereotypical spoiled brat sorority trust fund chick, and she complained about everything because everything had to be just right for her. And anyway, if you've been in Europe, that's what they call a continental breakfast. Okay, continental means crappy. Okay, it's continental breakfast. It's not any hot food. Continental breakfast is a cold bagel, and that's it. It's cold bagel. That's your continental breakfast. And our hotel had continental breakfast for free every day. But she wanted real food, and somewhere on one of the oh no, I have a whole other story. Yeah, which is actually better than this girl. The girl got pissed. She lost her mind, and she was screaming at the top of her lungs, "I want some fucking bacon, and I want some fucking scrambled eggs," and and she wants hot, pancakes. She wants a hot. Maybe it's called an American breakfast. I don't know. I just call it breakfast. But she wanted hot food, and all she was getting was these continental breakfasts, and she was just like so pissed and just so used to getting her way, that she lost her mind. But anyway, no, this is a better story if you're still here. Although I maybe did tell. I know I told it before, but maybe I throw the whole thing away. This was at the end of the day one day, and we don't speak the language well. My computer's telling me I'm out of space. Uh-oh. It might stop. Okay. I'll go fast. Yeah, I thought I knew enough German to get by here, and I didn't. All I could say was pommes frites and zwei Pepsi. Pommes frites, which is French fries, and zwei Pepsi. So I ate French fries and Pepsi for like days. It was every meal. That's all I could say, so that's all I ate. But anyway, so language barriers, right? So is at the end of the day, and the sun's going down, and there's a shuttle bus, and underneath you throw all your equipment underneath the bus, cram it all in there, and we got all our equipment crammed in there, and now it's time for us to put our bodies on the bus. But this bus is packed, and when I say packed, I mean packed. They're packed all the way out to the edge of the door. They're practically hanging off the outside of the bus. It's full, and there's 6 of us trying to get on it, and none of us are on it yet. And the bus driver, he's yelling at us. He's saying, we're leaving, get off the bus. But he's probably trying to say there's another shuttle bus coming. But we don't understand, the language, and I can see the sun going down, and I know where I am. Middle of nowhere is where I am, and when the sun goes down, it is going to be dark. Not to mention, my equipment is already in the bus. So I'm not wanting the bus to leave without us. And the bus driver is very determined to do so. So he does. He just pulls off and leaves us all standing there. But all our equipment is on the bus, and the sun is like down now. And we're not clear whether anyone's coming back for us ever. Are we going to have to walk 30 kilometers in the pitch dark and phones for flashlights? It'll be like some survival horror movie or something to try to. And I don't even know which direction. I have no idea which direction to even start walking. And how that can go if you're lost in the woods. You could be there for days, weeks and weeks and weeks, and you might only be, half a mile from a road, but not know it, and kind of walk in circles. And you hear all these stories. And so yeah, I'm pretty concerned, that they're not coming back. Nobody's coming back for us. And again, language barrier. None of us were communicating with the bus driver well at all, except we were all yelling at each other. And he was quite sure that we were not going to get on that bus, and he drove away. But yes, we heard, thank God, it was a while. It was like 45 minutes or so, and we heard in the distance, here comes a bus. Thank God. And sure enough, they sent another shuttle bus back for us, and we were the only ones on it. So like 6 of us got on it, and it drove us back into town, and it was a ways, I'll try to use kilometers, 20 kilometers or something like that, down into the town. And then, luckily, when people had pulled all their stuff out, they just pulled everything out from underneath the bus, so our stuff got pulled out too, and so all of our stuff was accounted for. Really, it was all just laying there in a snarl of poles and skis and crap, but it was laying there on the sidewalk, where the other bus had disembarked, and now our bus is disembarking, and there's our stuff, all jumbled up, and we picked through it, and there was nothing missing. You know, every single pole and ski that we had put in that thing, somebody had thrown out of the bus and left it there on the sidewalk. So, you know, all's well that ends well, right? Shook the table, sorry. All's well that ends well. So we came out of that fine. 30 minutes. Okay, but this is going to be the skiing in Austria story with a couple little things on the front, but I'm going to label it this time. And so anyway, sorry if you hung in there, if this was any better than the other time I said it, but I swear I looked really hard to see if I could find where in the world I had described an Austrian ski trip into the Alps, and I couldn't find it in my other videos. So thank you if you were here for this, and take care as always, and I'm going to get us out of here in just some horrific amount of time of almost 31 minutes. Thanks a lot. Be safe.